Sorry about that, guys. I hope everybody can hear me. Looks like I was having some sound issues. Please let me know if you can hear me in the chat, so I know that my sound is 5 by 5. You know, technical problems, if we didn't have them. I think everybody's having technical problems. And I tried to turn on the Uber conference so we could take some calls, and hopefully I'll be able to get that lined out if you guys are wanting to call in. Okay, we just had I don't know if you guys heard that. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, now I'm on my desktop where I can see the chat. Hi, Salted Cedar, how are you? Started streaming 109 seconds ago. Okay, looks like we are live and you guys can hear me okay. I have been promising for a long time to give gratitude and thanks to I don't know if you guys know Photo Helix. He's been doing a hot seat show, and he did a drawing where it was Royal Forest donated all kinds of jewelry that he makes, and I won second prize, and I got this beautiful tangerine crystal handmade necklace from him, and I wanted to show everybody that because it's beautiful, and I do wear it, and I do love it. And he also put some scriptures and stuff to go along with it. So it's really very kind of him to mail it to me and to, donate like that. I mean, it's just really generous. So lots of gratitude. And with everything that's going on in this world and everything that's going on even in my personal life, just receiving a gift, just can make somebody's day. Random acts of kindness. Well, the topic today is what in the world is going on with people? Oh boy. Are we at that stage as the Bible states, where every man is right in his own mind? Things to think about. My testimony is peppered throughout my videos from my very beginnings to where I am now. I didn't even start to speak out until I was pretty sure of what the heck was going on. The main part of this wake up for myself and my husband started in 2012, which the irony of the Mayan calendar and all of those things going on, the culmination, it was before that happened, because we were awakened and looking at that date as a possible date of a rapture. And as time has went on, we go through what I call a refinement period, and where we learn more about ourselves and other people around us. And I call us walking rainbows, because when you look at the chakra, it's like a rainbow. And from where I remember the rainbow, red was at the bottom and purple at the top. And now we've got red at the top and purple at the bottom, which is really odd. But it seems like the chakra system, that is lined up with what I guess they would call them the New Age community talks about. I don't think, I'm not into the labels. I'm more interested in the experiences and what's going on with our lives, what changes are happening, What kind of manifestations are you seeing? There's so much going on. It's just it's an amazing journey. But we go through what I call a refinement period. And mine started with what I called a Holy Spirit baptism. But that wasn't the end. That was like the beginning of my understanding and learning and growing and coming to the awareness of who and what we are and what this place is. I'm not saying that I know what this place is. I'm saying that, over time we get a better concept of what this place is and, what we're here to do. And as we progress along, how different things unlock in us. Well, as I've been observing, we can get stuck in areas of that refinement period, especially when the gifts come online. You can get stuck and think that you have all the answers, and you're wanting to share all the answers that you have, and you think that your answers are the only answers. And when you get past that area, it's almost like the load off of you gets lightened up. There's an echo. Is it not? Could it be possibly because you're in the room with me? Is anybody else hearing an echo? I'm checking my dashboard now. Why do I feel like I'm watching that dude on TV or movie? They live. There's an echo. Okay, let me find out where this echo is coming from. And how's that? Better? Did I find it? And it is like that. They live. We look around and we all have choice. We have the choice whether to continue with the journey or to become stagnant. I just changed my name on my channel to Awake and Activate, because I don't want to say awake and activated. I want to say awake and activate, because we're constantly needing to activate and move forward as we're discovering all of this information. And like I said, even in scripture it says, knowledge will increase, but it takes time. It takes time for things to permeate. You get a new heart, and when you get your new heart, then you get the understanding where Christ said, the two things that you do when you fulfill the law is, you love God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul, and you love your neighbor as yourself. Well, that's actually a universal law. And with that, you do complete the law, because then you are treating other people with respect. You're listening to them. You have compassion for what they're going through. And, and tests get thrown our way. And, anybody that knows, we just lost our daughter, and it's been very heartbreaking and hard to, I'm sure it's very hard for any of you guys to even imagine that kind of a loss. And, just when I start to feel a little bit better, then, the sheriff's office calls and says, well, they finally finished the report on the investigation. So I read all 40 pages of that, and it was just like ripping the Band-Aid off my heart, the patches that I've been putting on it, and made it all fresh and painful again. But as we are moving through this, we're to be in the world but not of the world. But as we're breaking free of the world tries everything that it can to pull us back into it. And you'll find that the more freedom and sovereignty that you have within you, and the respect that you're having for other people, and the random acts of kindness, that worldly things will get thrown at you more and more to try to pull you back in to the strong delusion of this matrix realm, which I look at as one big school, for us to learn and grow and expand and experience. The very breath of life is within each of us, which that tells me that there's a divine spark that animates each of us. And I can tell you that firsthand, because when I went and ID'd my daughter, when I was finally able to do that, the spark of life had left her body. I felt her all around me. I felt her love all around me. I felt her energy, her essence. But it was no longer confined in that avatar body. That body was lifeless. But it looked like she could open her eyes and just start talking to me. They did such a good job at the funeral home. So some things, are shown to us in the real life, so we get a better understanding, so we can explain it to others. Are we fighting the very move of God? I think about Israel, where Christ was in their midst, but they were so into the book that they missed his very presence, the very move of God in their presence. They didn't realize it. They didn't recognize it. So as a Christian, Bible believing, it has to be in that book. Are we the new Sadducees and Pharisees that Christ, pretty much put in their place? Because they're not allowing people to enter the kingdom of heaven, and they're not entering themselves. These are things that I think about, along with as I'm observing other people and their channels on, that they say that they have the answers, and they get emotional or angry, or if anybody has an opposing viewpoint, then they get angry. And those, if you look at the walking rainbow that we are, if you look, or even take Dante's Inferno, as you're coming up from hell and you're rising up to the top, the lower realms, the red, the yellow, the orange realms are the ones that are saying that they're the ones with all the answers, where we know God Almighty, Source, Creator of all, is the one with all the answers. We're here to learn and grow and expand as children of God, which gives us the spark of divinity within us. But it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but I do use the gifts that I've been given, and will be more active in using the gifts that I've been given to help other people move along or get unblocked from situations or stagnation that may be going on within their life. To each of us is given certain gifts. We actually can have all the gifts. He talks about the 7 spirits, and I think that has to do again with the 7 chakras. The 7 spirits are different levels that we need to overcome, to become whole. One of the first things that I understand, which I understood, was that we're 6 sense beings, not 5 sense. But when we were in school, we're taught all about the 5 senses, not the 6 senses. Think about that for a moment. And let me say hi to everybody who's here. I appreciate you guys coming, and I will put the phone number up and open up Uber conference because I haven't done a call-in show forever, so I'm pretty rusty at all of this technology. I've been cranking out videos, and creating has really been a wonderful outlet, um, especially going through what I'm going through. So, it's been very beneficial to provide the content for you guys, and let out some of this information so you can question what is going on or get confirmation on what's going on within you. Okay, who do we got here? We've got salted cedar. We've got, what is that? Shark, Sharticon. There we go. Silent J is my husband, and he's moderating for us. Hi Pre. And that's all who is chatting right now, but that's okay. Um, so it started out for with the awakening for us is with dreams and visions. I would see things, and then later they would happen. And I'm going to be very honest, and I'm sure my husband will be okay with this, but in 2012, I about lost my mind because I thought my daughter died or was about to die. I was sending my husband over to check on her. We were filling the house with groceries. We were doing everything possible so that that did not happen. Now, did I see something that was coming into the future? Well, that's very well possible, because when we see things or have these premonitions, we don't know when it's going to happen. We just see it, and that could have very well been part of what happened with me seeing that in 2012. Was that and he can verify that that happened. That actually happened. And then we saw President Trump win the election 2 years before and we thought that was a joke, so we wrote that down. Many things I've been shown, and I tell him about them, and then we walk through them. So, that was a gift that opened up, and I want to, be honest about this. And it's not always sunshine and roses. We don't always see what we want to see. We see what we need to see, so that way we can become active and pray and do what we can do to try to lessen what is going to happen, or do our best, because people suffering is one of those things that really hurts my heart. I don't like to see people suffer, but we still, as somebody that sees things in dreams and things like that, they think, oh, I'm having a pizza dream, or they, chalk it off, or they won't share those type of dreams. But really, we need to be honest, and we need to be sharing whatever it is that we get, because how are we supposed to protect ourselves and defend ourselves? But like I said, even as the dreamer and the seer, you don't know what you're looking at as for a time frame. And even like landscaping, do you have any idea how many places look exactly the same all around the world? We think of third world countries as these desert wasteland, but they're actually metropolitan business type areas, multicultural, just like the United States. So it's hard to even see or pinpoint the location where you're at. So I tried to look to see if I could find anything that could be a locator, but it's very difficult to do that. Hi, Dad. How are you doing? So it's been 7 years, and that brings me back again to Scripture, the 7-year tribulation. Well, have I went through the 7-year tribulation, or what I call the refinement period? Do we all go through a 7-year tribulation? Is it possible to shorten those days for people that have been through it, that are willing to put themselves out there, and, either people can take the information or not. Everything's always a choice. We have our sovereignty. We have our free will. Honey, I got a fly that's attracted to these lights that's just driving me bananas. Anyways, so, with that, we need to think about that too. Some people, have... Are you looking for him now? He'll probably hide from you. You guys may actually see my husband on camera if he comes over here to kill that one little... It's a little tiny one too. And he just popped out when I turned the lights on. But when I look around and I see people that I used to watch, and they're getting angry or upset or frustrated or, almost like fleecing the flock, I guess, because people are not in their head and reading their mind and don't see things exactly the same way that that you do, then, or that they do, then they can get really brutal with you. And it's like a dividing. It seems like people are being divided, the wheat from the tares, but that also is inner work. There's things going on within us that is being separated. The things that no longer serve us are being removed, which would be the tares from within. But then we see it also in the world, where people that are, have that hardened heart, are being separated from those who are, heartfelt, and actually do love other people and care about what happens to other people. So it's really difficult when we're surrounded by fakery and made up news and things like that to discern what's true and what is not. So always the best place to find anything, or even the discernment, is in you. It's in your heart. Get to the middle, come above those lower realms and get to that heart area. Get your new heart, and then everything will line up, into your mind, and then it changes everything. You'll feel lighter. You'll be able to handle things differently. You'll be able to pour out forgiveness instead of wanting justice and wrath. It's a complete lifestyle change, but it comes about in a natural way. So, am I making sense? I know I'm just babbling on. Biker babe, hey sweetie, long time no see, but then again, I haven't been live in so long. So, yeah. Need to go in here. Where'd she go? Where'd you go? Do. Hold on a second, guys. There she is. Okay. Done. All right. So, okay. Is it making sense what I'm talking? I'm trying to condense down 7 years of hot and heavy experiences into where I'm at today. Why I changed the name of the channel, And because I want to activate people, I want people to, seek from within, know that that divine spark is within them, and that when we're looking for things outside of ourselves, we're making a mistake. Christ or Christ consciousness, or you can call it Jesus, Holy Spirit, you can call it higher self, you can call it whatever, resides within you. The access, the doorway has always been accessible, but we needed to go the opposite direction. We were always looking outward when we should have been looking inward. And that's one of the things that I've learned, is that if I want an answer, I go inward. I may not like the answer that I get to the question, but I get the answers. So, when we're looking at the, like I said, the dividing, the people that are cruel, or and are of that nature, it is showing very clearly. Our discernment has been kicked up into high gear. Some people call them NPCs, or non-participant players. Well, there could possibly be some background people trying to pull you back into this realm, because that's part of the challenges of this place. We're moving up and out, and we come in, I'm sure, with some kind of an agreement that we won't remember who we are or where we came from. And that's part of the challenge, is to remember who you are and where you came from. And each of us hold the light within us that, God Almighty, Source, has given to each of us. But we also have free will. So those that are choosing that will stay in the lower realm will stay in the lower realms. And then those who choose the higher things will go into the higher things. It's always a choice. You could be walking side by side next to somebody. Somebody could be dealing with lower realm, or be in the lower realm, seeing something completely different than you're seeing, as you got your mind on higher things. And it's hard to describe it. It's almost like realms upon realms are stacked on top of each other, and it's up to you on where you want to go. You have the choice. You also have the choice on the gifts that you operate in, because that will be where your passion. Now, some just come online automatically, like praying in the heavenly language and things like that. Light language is what I'm calling it, and that comes in several different forms. It can come in the form of art. It could come in the form of music. It could come in the form of your heart. It can come in the form of speaking in tongues. Makes me wonder, before the languages were all separated, what language did they speak? Did they speak in what we call the tongues of angels? Was that the one language that then got separated out? I don't know. Things to think about. Sometimes you feel post-trauma rage. That's okay. It's, acknowledging it is a huge part of understanding. If you can see it within yourself, then you are at the point of being able to do something about it. It's the people that don't see that there's a problem within them that I'm concerned about. And I think that those are the ones being separated out. And it's by choice. It's completely by choice. It's not something that that you're forced to do, or you're going to be this way, or you're going to be that way. And even if you are an angry, wrathful, looking for justice type person now, tomorrow you could be a completely different person, because you can change that path at any time, because you are the hero of your own story. You are the author of your journey. It's a narrow path because you're the only one on it. And I know I've been saying that for a very long time, but it's true. I experience OBEs, out of body experiences. I've had NDEs, near death experiences. I've heard that having near death experiences can actually be a catalyst into that being on that other side, even if for a brief moment, and coming back could be an activation or an accelerated activation. So, there's a lot of questions. But if we're always asking why, and not going with the flow, we also, again, can be hampering and stunting our growth. Yeah, if you find any that pop in here, feel free to show them the door, give them a nice little timeout. So maybe fix something. Cool beans, sister. Let's see. Are you guys just talking to each other? That's cool. That's that's all about why we have a live stream, is so we can get together and talk to one another. But and I also wanted to explain what the name change was about. The name change is about because this is time for to be active, moving into this, helping those who are seeking. The right people will find me. I'm not going to worry about subscribers and view counts and all that stuff. They've been messing with my channel since the start of it. But that's this place. That's just this place. That's how it operates. It wants to get me frustrated and upset, or no, I'm going to keep on chugging along. Whether I'm doing fine right now with what I have. I do want to get Zoom, where we can have up to 100 of us in there together having a chat with one another. But that will have to come later as soon as the finances come in. And I'm certain that nobody's going to go to my Patreon account that isn't serious about their path, their journey. And so that's how I look at that, and why I can put other things over there that, because YouTube's public, and public brings out, all different types of people. So, but discernment is really important. Hey, bro. I was actually on his call-in show last night on his Shifty Sunday. Shifty Sunday. And he's got a few shows that he's got going on his channel. Pretty cool. Armor Up's over there. Always love Armor Up. But yeah, there, so many of us, and I'm not talking about your channel, Hebrew, when I'm talking about people that I've watched, and all of a sudden I've watched something happen there that it's like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on a second, did I just move to, did I get shifted to a different reality, as some would say, where this is a different version of this person? I mean, it makes me question it, because of their personality has changed so much. They're not consistent. So, look for consistency. Are they truly trying to help you, or do they want you to come to them for the answers? we're supposed to be teaching the man to fish so he can eat for a lifetime, not giving him a fish so he has to keep coming back. So that's kind of what my motto is, and also a place where we can all come together and share experiences, and without judgment, without anybody, casting stones at anybody. So, but these are things that, make me wonder, are the fundamental Christian believers, are they fighting against the very move of God like the Israelites were when Christ was in their midst? I mean, that's food for thought, because there is a mighty move of God going on, and it doesn't take away or hurt faith. Actually, if anything, my husband and I's faith is stronger than it's ever been, that there is a creator. There's no doubt that this is intelligent design, but few find their narrow path, and the only reason a few find it is because they don't realize that it's narrow, because they're the ones on it, and it's a journey inward, and it's where we seek from within in our hearts. We got to get over those lower realms and get up into our heart, get that new fleshy heart, and do those two things that we're asked that complete the law. And that goes for universal law too. When I'm showing you guys the examples of universal law and all these things, it still can boil down to two things, just like Christ said. And I'm not, honey, it's over here again. Now that you stopped hunting him, he came back. You'll see him. Anyways, so back to what I was saying. Okay, I lost my train of thought. That little fly, and the having to reboot my computer and everything. It's like, ah. But discernment, use your discernment whenever you're coming around anybody, and go with the flow. Allow the gifts to open up in you. There are so many people that are truly there to help you along, and you pick up what resonates with you and you move on. And I figure a lot of times when people don't resonate, then they'll come back in time. When it's their time, they'll be back, and it'll all still be there for them when they're ready. And I'm not any better than anybody else. No. This has not been an easy walk. It's not an easy journey. The things we're being dealt and thrown at us at this time are heart-wrenching and very difficult. But I know, at least now versus when I had that premonition in 2012, I know that she is somewhere that I will see her again. And she's around me. I mean, I feel her essence. I feel her coming around me. It's just, an amazing understanding. And I don't know how anybody could look around at this place and not believe in God. Now, I don't know about the putting a sex on God, whether he be male or female. I don't think that, I really believe in equality, in the womb. I know men don't like to hear this, but when conception happens, we're all females. And then as gestation happens, then the Y chromosome kicks in, and then that determines whether it will be a male child. And we all have the testosterone and, the estrogen and testosterone in our bodies. We have both male and female hormones. So, We're closer than you think of being in oneness. And I don't mean to keep going back to scripture, but do you remember when the disciples were complaining? Oh, thank you, Biker Babe. 555. Love it. The number of grace. He said that the disciples, when they were learning from Christ, they were complaining about Mary and, about her being a female and that she really shouldn't be there learning and yada, yada. And Christ says, well, then I'll make her male. Well, okay, how can he make her male, right? Think about it. It's because the hormones are already in us. We're both male and female hormones are active. So something to think about. And I got a huge awakening with that when with the loss of my child, my body began to shut down over the heartbreak. And my hormones went off whack. And so there's a gentle, delicate balance to everything. That, even whether or not you are born a male or a female. So, and we need each other. Male and female, we need each other. And companionship. And we can't have children without both. It's just the grand design of things. So, male, and let's say female, but I say physical, but outside, I believe it's honestly just feelings of joy, no form. Yes, energy and frequency, vibration. That is basically what we are. That's what's inhabiting these avatars. We're in these bodies, but being in these bodies is just a temporary dwelling place for us to experience touch, hugs, taste, smell, emotions, and thinking and thought. Those are higher understanding. That's a part of our vibration and our energy. And we're here through the experiences that we have with the five senses, and then we can learn, and it adds more to our sixth sense. So that was a very good point that you made. Very good point. And another thing that has been crossing my mind a lot is that they say that Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Well, when I think about Satan, who is an accuser, so who's accusing everybody of everything? And it would be somebody that is projecting out that they are something that they're not. They're just not being authentic. So they're acting one way. They're acting that they are all light and love and forgiveness, but in truth, they got jealousy, bitterness, and anger in their heart. So that would be a false light, because all of us have the divine light within us. But again, it's choice. It's the choices we make, but we can always change the choice. We can always, go on that narrow gate. We can always pass through that and take our narrow path, our refinement period. I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. I'm going to be honest. It's not easy. Some of the things that we're facing, they're not easy. They're not. But I don't take them out on anybody else. Nobody else did this to me. Nobody else wanted this to happen. This just happened. I'm not even angry with the drivers of the vehicles. It's called an accident for a reason. They have to live with this. Think about it. If I was in a car driving and I made a mistake, and I killed somebody and I lived through it, I don't know how I would live with myself. I would think about what I did day in and day out. Don't you think that that's punishment enough? Do you think they need me coming after them, wanting justice and attacking them and doing... No. No. It's going to be something that haunts them forever. So, the narrow path of refinement, yes. When I talk about the refinement period, we're being sifted or trodden down in the wine press. And again, like I said, this is not a religious channel. There's no dogma here. There's just experiences. And since my culture, I was brought up with the Bible, I can see the parables, I can see the synchronicities, I can see how the Bible coincides with a lot of the things that my eyes have been open to. So that's why I make reference to it. But it doesn't mean that somebody that's out in the jungle living amongst their tribe that's never even seen a Bible doesn't have the divine spark within them and have their refinement or their ways of going about this journey. And a lot of times you find out that a lot of these tribes that, don't have these doctrines and strict rules and laws put over them, actually, when they see this going on within a tribal member, they nurture it and, consider it a huge blessing. So, yeah, something to think about there, too. The path of refinement has many curves and passages, but one small step can be the difference between refinement and redemption. Well, the refinement period is about redemption here while you're on earth, where you can walk in a different realm or reality or perspective of the way that you view things. If you're looking at everybody as an enemy, then you will be an angry and everybody will be your enemy. And you'll be paranoid and you won't be a happy person. But if you look at everybody with the divine spark in them, knowing the unlimited potential, no matter where they're at, you live a happier life. There's more joy, there's more love, there's more compassion, there's more patience, there's long suffering. But, we love each other and we want everybody to find this way within themselves. Whether it be through Christ, which is the way that I went, or like I said, a tribe in the jungle that's never even, heard of the Holy Bible because they're isolated and have not been tampered with by modern society. Believe it or not, there are tribes out there that have not been touched by modern society. Yeah, I watched that documentary. It was very fascinating. So, everybody is potentially good. That's right. That's right, Pri. And that, they can make the choice. Does anybody want to call in? You want me to open the phone lines and see if I can get that working? And share. I shared the experience of going to Isetti Ranch. I don't know if that's a Mandela effect, or not, because for me, camping, and I went there to go camp and meet a bunch of people that I've been talking to for a very long time online, and by getting to see them in person, it brought a closer bond by actually being able to hug them, talk to them, share experiences with them. It was more of a gathering of, people from Australia came. It was amazing. I think Shane expected 50, but there was, 120 on the ranch that weekend. and you wouldn't know it because it didn't seem crowded. The place is, it's looks like it's small when you first go into it, but it goes so deep in, and like I said, there's rivers and forests and animals and fruit trees, and then you've got the field where you sky watch, and there's just so much room there. You just wouldn't believe how much there actually was to this camping trip. Okay, this place is literally like a movie, yes. The gods must be crazy. I am doing a series on the Greek mythological gods and goddesses because I want to show the human traits that they have, the commonalities that they have with us as who we are at this time. I think one of the biggest deceptions and lies that we were ever told was that the gifts stopped when the last apostle died. Now, they were disciples under Christ, and then they were commissioned once they became apostles to make disciples of men, meaning to go and teach them and give them the good news, therefore making more apostles. You know, imagine this place with a bunch of people that are completely aware of the divinity that is within them, operating with the gifts and abilities for the best of all mankind, how this place would change overnight. Something to think about. So, time is coming. And time, that's a construct in itself. You know, sometimes time slips away from you so fast, and sometimes it goes real slow. Depends on what's going on, I guess, you know? But it does seem like time is just jumping forward and forward and forward so quickly that it's hard to even grasp the concept. So does anybody want me to open the phone lines? Anybody want to call in? Share any of your opinions on anything that I have said or shared, and not, you know, why I've changed it to Awake and Activate, because I'm going to be doing a different type of service for my equals. We're all equals, and no matter where you're at, we're always equals. There's nothing that I know or that I've learned that you can't know or learn yourself. And there's things I don't know that you know that I can learn from. That's why I always say, you know, that we should share what we know and listen so we can grow. It's important to show that mutual respect for each other. We do not need to be abused by others. That's where discernment comes in. But we do need to respect other people where they're at and their sovereignty. They get to choose. You know, if they want to stay in the lower realms, they can stay in the lower realm. And I don't mean to say it like lower realm, like one is better than the other. I mean by experience. If they are wanting to have the experience that is more on the physical, well, then they can stay in the realm of the more physical. If they want to reach the higher realms, then they can go into more of the spiritual side and the manifestation. And then we actually, you know, think about when Jacob fell asleep on the rock and he's seen angels ascending and descending from this ladder going into heaven, okay? It's like we manifest and then we come down and we experience. We manifest, then we come down and we experience. And that's how we are supposed to be. I don't know if this place got hijacked. I don't know anything about any of that. I think there could be some credence to that. But we're finding our way. And so if we're finding our way, something has happened. Either the time has come, as Hebrew just mentioned, you know, we're in this great awakening time, and that, it's a beautiful experience and a beautiful time for all of us to learn about ourselves, seek from within. But as you're looking around and watching other people's channels and the information that they're sharing, please use discernment. If there's anger or frustration or any of that kind of stuff going on, well, just realize that that's where they're at, and that's fine. That's fine. But and we can still learn from people that are in anger and frustration. There's always room for growth and expansion in every area. But if you're wanting to move forward, where you can go up and down the ladder, well, try and find people that are going to give you the nuggets that are going to help you to be able to go up and down the ladder at your will while you're here for this blink of an eye. Compared to eternity, the time that we spend here is like a blink of an eye. So, much love, Michelle. I was talking to a friend and told to look for a sign. From my Refinement last week, I received section's tummy scar where my mom came out on my finger. Aww. Aww. This is truly magical and good. It's changing, but for the good. Yes, it is. It is changing for the good. So, I guess I won't mess with opening the phone lines. And again, I want to say a shout out to, let's see, it's Royal Forest for, thank you for the tangerine crystal. I appreciate it. It came along with a couple scriptures. So anybody that tries to tell you that crystals are no good, no, they are good. They're in the Bible. It's in scripture. And one of the very first Mandela effects that I saw was my Bible changed. My Bible changed. So, if anything could give you a bigger sign that, we need to come up out of the book is good. Don't get me wrong. Read the book. Read it. There is divine inspiration in that book. But also seek from within. Seek and you shall receive, right? It's all inside your heart. It's in here. So let's start ascending and descending up and down that ladder at will instead of at the whim of others. Start to take a little bit of our sovereignty and our divinity back into our own hands. And if there's anything that I can do to help, let me know. If you're wanting the activation codes and cannot afford the $2 a month or cannot afford to go on to Patreon, send me an email and I will send you the link for you to watch the activation codes. So that is gifting that I've been blessed with to help people get unstuck or move along or even awaken, So but I don't want people to feel that they're obligated, because although this has been a lot of work for me to achieve where I am, and it does cost money to run a channel, everybody knows that. Anybody that makes content knows it costs money to do this, for the software and the things that we need to do it, to do you guys a good service and give you a nice production. But I don't want it to be that you feel that you're going to miss out on something because you're not giving me money. You email me and I will email you the activation codes. First activation codes are already up here on YouTube. That was a very light activation code. The next ones are going to be pretty deep and heavy. So, and they should be done the first week of October is when I'll be releasing those in Patreon. So, like I said, though, just shoot me an email. If you cannot afford a contribution, then I will send them to you, because I in my heart of hearts, know that the more people that understand themselves, their sovereignty, their divinity, that they are a child of God just like everyone else, their capabilities, unlocking the gifts within them, the faster and better that this place will be for each and every single one of us. I love you all so very much. Thank you so much to Biker Babe for the super chat. I'm very, very grateful. Those actually will help add up. And I may not actually take 2 years to get funding from YouTube. Who knows? I think super chat helps that, so that way we can actually get a little bit of funds from YouTube. They advertise a lot, but they seem to take a lot. Just kind of works that way. I love you too, Biker Babe, and I want to talk to you. So, privately though, not like online, but privately, and yeah, meeting you in person, and everybody that I met in person, I learned so much about them, and girl, you got a heart of gold, just a heart of gold. But you also have been gifted with discernment, big time discernment, and that is something that you can share with other people, and they would be very grateful to have that. That discernment that you have is what I want for everybody to have, because boy, oh boy, your discernment gift is off the chart. And yes, discernment is a gift. It is a gift. It is a divine gift to understand and discern what is healthy for you, and to see if somebody is a false light and they're not being authentic. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming, and next time we will do the phone lines, but that made me have to reboot my computer and made me so late. I love you guys. This was just I'm rusty. I need to get back used to live streaming with you guys, so I will be back soon, I'm sure. I love you. Share what you know and listen so we can all grow. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of new postings, premieres, and live shows. If you'd like to sponsor the channel, the links are below. I have both Patreon and PayPal. And thank you, channel supporters. Without your support to keep things going, I don't know where I would be. It's people like you and your generosity that helps the work improve and for us to be able to grow. Thank you.